Hey, what's up, everybody? Ramey here, otherwise known as Dr. Ray. Today we're talking about protecting our kids at home when they're on, cell phones, tablets, Xbox, Nintendo, your home Wi-Fi, your home computer. How do you protect your kids? What's going on? I have three kids. They're ages 7, 10, and 12 right now. So I'm worried about what they're doing online all the time. Not only my kids, but I've got a bunch of kids in my neighborhood that come to my house all the time. This has been going on for years. So I've had lots of little kids around, elementary, middle school age, and what do I do to protect them? What are you supposed to do? I'm going to talk about what I recommend to people because I'm asked this question all the time, and I'll talk about what we're doing as a family too, how we protect our kids. All right, so the first things that you need to do are all things that, as a parent, it's your responsibility to do. Because I'm going to talk about like installing things on your devices and protecting your Wi-Fi and stuff like that too. But the first things you need to do is you have to talk to your kids about online bullying and how to deal with it. Now, I know that my kids are learning about this in school, but you don't know if they are for sure, and you don't know what they're learning in school exactly about it. So please, please, please talk to your kids about it. Your kid will 100% experience online bullying as a kid or adult. Like, they're gonna experience it. Trust me, they will experience it as they're playing games, or it's gonna happen. Teach them how to deal with it now. So go ahead. You got to look up strategies for them to learn how to deal with bullying. Make sure they're learning about it in school, Cub Scouts, church, all that good stuff. But you have to teach them, give them some strategies for dealing with it. All right. Next thing you have to do. You've got to talk to your kids about online safety in general, like signs of things they should look out for, like not to give out their personal information, types of websites they shouldn't be, if it doesn't look like it's for grown-ups, that kind of thing. Not to give out their personal information online, as I already said. Ways that they're talking to people and stuff like that online, ways that they're going to communicate. And to go along with that, the third thing you need to do, you need to know what your kids are doing online. Now, that becomes really difficult. Like I now have three kids, three boys, and we have they each have their own tablets. We've got an Xbox, we've got a Switch, we've got a computer. They take our phones sometimes to do stuff. My oldest has a phone. There's a bunch of devices. So I'd like to say monitor what your kids are doing, but it becomes really difficult. So a few strategies for that. One, as they're little kids, start to monitor them right away. Like, we started monitoring what our kids were doing when they were first got on devices. They knew, like, if I want to download an app, I have to ask mom and dad. And you form those habits with them when they're young and little, and they'll carry through to when they're older. Whereas my 7 and 10-year-olds still come and they're like, oh, Mom, Dad, I want to download this app. Can I? So as you start to get on those habits, but you've got to go onto those devices personally and kind of see what's going on. And that gets me to my next thing, which is when you get on these devices, when you get your kid your first tablet, and me and my wife, I'm a tech guy, and we held off as long as we could. But by the time your kid's in kindergarten, the other kids are going to be playing video games, and your kid's going to want to. By the time they're 7, they will 100% be asking to play Fortnite, Roblox, unless you're watching this in 10 years from now, and they're not. But they're going to be asking to play those games. Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox. All the kids are. They're going to ask. So what do we do with these devices? So once you get a device for your kid, one of the things that you need to do is you need to go on and set the free parental controls that come with a device. You'll be able to pick you might be able to pick make sure they can't buy stuff. If you've watched my videos, one of my children got the buy thing turned off, spent $450 on coins for some Hungry Shark app. Kind of funny story. We got all the money back because we noticed it. All of my credit card charges come right to me, so I knew right away. $450. Okay. So make sure you turn off, go on the device itself. When you're going to get a lot of kids get an iPad, or they get a Kindle tablet. That's kind of the starter gear for what the kids get. But whatever kind of device your kids get, even if it's like an Xbox or if it's an iPhone, whatever it is, they all have parental controls. Go on and see what the options are. There will be some. They're not going to be great, but there are going to be some. At least allow them to like not buy things. You can even set like on some of the devices allow you to set like don't allow them to install apps that are rated a certain amount and stuff like that. Like rated like 13 and over and stuff like that. So you can kind of pick and choose a little bit on the device. So that's the first like device thing that you do besides trying to monitor what your kids are doing is you're going to look at the parental controls on the device itself. All right. So once we have that done, we've done a little bit, right? But this is very far from perfect. So we're going to go to the next level. The next level is actually starting to install things on the device. Now, what do I mean by that? So first of all, for each device, it's going to be a little different. Like for my Xbox, I can't really install anything. I can set up the parental controls on Xbox and Xbox Live. But so I'm going to talk about some ways around that. But like for a tablet, Android or iOS tablet or a PC, there's lots of stuff you can do. First of all, you're going to need some kind of like malware, antivirus stuff, especially if it's on a PC or Mac. If it's on a phone, you can install all kinds of different software on your phone. One of the ones that I personally like is Norton. Norton Utilities. There's a parental control called Norton Family. I think like the cheapest version is like $50 a year, and that covers 5 devices. But it allows you to control everything on the device, like what videos your kids are watching, what they're searching, all that kind of good stuff. It's pretty inexpensive. There really isn't free good software to install on a device. Now, the other thing is you might be saying, well, I've heard of this and I've heard of this. Is this good? Is this good to install? Is this good to download and install on the device? Look, there's 5,000 different pieces of software I can install on a phone to protect it from like parental control stuff to protect my kids. The key is finding one that you like, that's inexpensive, works with your budget, and does all the stuff you want. I personally think Norton's like a good general recommendation because it's also like antivirus and kind of does everything on the computers and can help with you as well. That's why I like it. It also has like a VPN and some other secure things within it. That's why I like Norton, but get the one that you like. Yeah, there's thousands of them. Just pick the one that you like and get that one. But you're going to want to probably install something on your kids' devices. Now, me and my wife, on 2 of my kids, we actually don't have anything installed on their devices because I protect them another way. So I'm going to get into that. But our one child, yeah, we got to install something. So you've got to know your children. Is my kid the type of kid that's going to try to sneak downloading stuff, try to sneak some bad stuff on their device that they shouldn't? If they are, I really recommend installing something. If they're not, like 2 of my kids just aren't that kid. Like they're not going to do it. But my third is. Go figure. All kids are different. So this is where you need to know your child and know like what do they need? Do they need that level of protection? All right. The next thing, which I recommend you do no matter what, because I'm going to tell you a free option, is protect your home Wi-Fi. There's a few different ways to do that. So first of all, when you buy and some of these cost money and some don't, I'm going to give you like a couple options here. Protect your whole home internet, home Wi-Fi, whatever you want to call it, protect it. That means anyone who comes into your Wi-Fi unit will be protected. So we're talking like these multiple layers, remember? Multiple layers of protection. All right, so the first way to protect your home internet, and probably the easiest way for most people, is through your Wi-Fi service. So whatever like I don't mean like Charter Communications or Time Warner or AT&T. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, they can offer some stuff, but that's not the direction I would go. Whoever you bought your Wi-Fi router through. So like if your Wi-Fi router is Netgear or TP-Link or any of the popular ones, pretty much most of them offer a service that allows you to protect your whole entire internet at your house, well, the Wi-Fi portion. And what that does, like I have for example, I've had Netgear, and what I can do is I can actually pay, I think right now we actually have TP-Link. I can pay, I think it's like $20 to $50 a year service, and what that does is it'll actually protect my Wi-Fi from, like there's all kinds of parental control settings in there. All right, so that's like paying for a Wi-Fi service. Now, I personally don't like that idea because I think there are some better options. They start to get a little more complicated for people. And the one that I recommend the most, that I think every person should do, it seems like it could be complicated. It's really simple to do, is protecting your DNS server. Now, what does that mean? When I say DNS, I'm actually talking about DNS. Think of DNS like a phone book. So like when anyone on your home internet goes to a website, there's something in the back end like looks it up. That's a DNS service, and you all have one. Basically, the DNS service that you're using is whoever you pay for your internet. So like if I pay AT&T or Comcast or Time Warner, whoever I'm paying for my internet service is the DNS service. But they're usually not very good anyway, so you switch it. Now you're still paying Time Warner and everything. You're just going to use a different DNS service. How do we do it? It's very easy. All of them have directions on their website. Usually it's as simple as log into your Wi-Fi unit or your modem and enter in the following, like, they're going to give you an IP address, enter that in, and boom. It's super, literally takes 2 minutes to add a DNS service. Now, there are some free DNS services out there. A free one is called OpenDNS. 100% free, will protect your whole entire internet, and you can pick like categories like, bad things, like things that you wouldn't want your kids to look at. You can pick all those categories like gambling or whatever. And just say, I don't want my kids looking at these categories. The problem with that is that it's going to block a lot of stuff that you might want to look at. Not that you want to look at bad stuff, but sometimes the DNS servers actually block some things that they shouldn't. Let me give you an example. So the DNS service that we use at my house is called NextDNS. NextDNS. I think I pay $20 a year, but it's awesome. I get parental controls. I can say like, don't allow anyone to play Roblox on my house, at my house. That's it. No one can play Roblox. Don't allow them to play Xbox Live. Whatever it is, I can pretty much pick. I can block specific websites. I can see what people have looked at, pick all those categories and stuff. But one of the reasons I like paying, one of the options that I have, and you get this with OpenDNS as well, the free one, but the pay one, you get a lot more control and options. And for $20 a year, it's kind of worth it. But when something doesn't work, like for example, me and my wife were trying to use the Paramount Plus app, and for whatever reason, when we were trying to stream, like Yellowstone or something, the app was being blocked by my DNS server just by default. So I had to like just whitelist it, like type the address in so that it would run. So there are some problems with all of these like that. But the DNS service, just go OpenDNS is free. If you want a paid one, I like NextDNS. If you're doing all that stuff, besides like monitoring their screen time, taking all their devices away, you're doing a lot of pretty much everything you can. You got to remember, security is an onion. There's always ways to get through, but we're trying to like put many walls around them as we can to help them have a better experience on the internet. So we talk to our kids about bullying and all that good stuff, about internet safety, get some good resources. There's lots of great tutorials and courses out there that they can go through. Hopefully they're also covering that in school. You need to watch what your kids have on their devices, which is easy when you only have one kid and maybe one device, but it gets really complicated when you have multiple devices, multiple kids. Then when we start to get our devices, we put the parental controls native to the device. Like if it's Android, you go to the Android store and end settings, set up parental controls so they can't buy stuff. Then we start to install stuff. I really like Norton. It works on a bunch of devices and you can use it. It's fairly inexpensive. But there's a million other pieces of software out there that you can put on a device to watch it. Next thing we can do is protect our Wi-Fi. Example, whoever you paid for your modem, they usually have their own service. They have an app, and like mine's TP-Link. I have an app on my phone. I can pay for their service, and they'll do parental controls. They actually give me some parental controls for free even. And the final thing, which I recommend you all do, is the DNS service. OpenDNS is free. Next DNS is like 20 bucks a year and paid for it. And basically, the DNS server protects your whole entire Wi-Fi, everything. So those are the steps that I recommend that you take to protect your kids. If you're watching this in like 6 months from now and I didn't mention like some really cool app that's out, first of all, there's thousands of them. But let me know what you all do to protect your kids from the internet. I'd love to hear in the comments below. But this is a great start. This is a great place for you to get started. And if you're doing all this stuff, I mean, this is all the stuff I'm doing for my kids. Like, this is what we do at our household. Like, we are blocking this stuff. We have the DNS server, which is the big one. I only have stuff installed on one device, and then we have all the parental stuff and like typed it in on all of them. And we talk to our kids so many times. You have to. I talk to them all the time about this, constantly drilling in their head about online safety. Plus, they're getting it from school, which is a huge bonus. So thank you, school. Good job. But that's it. Love to hear your thoughts. Later, everybody.